Hari Om and a very good morning on 31st July. So let's discuss the thought of the day today. So as we did yesterday, we were talking about the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, that is Sankhya Yoga. This is the most important chapter as Lord Krishna condenses the teachings of the entire Gita in this particular chapter. So this is the essence of the entire Gita. Sankhya means right understanding, jnana or knowledge. Sankhya Yoga deals with the entire gist of the Gita. So Sankhya comes from the term Sankhya. Sankhya means sum plus kya. Kya means to know, to inform, to tell, and some shamyak, that is very well. So Sankhya means shamyak nyayate anaya atma tattvam iti Sankhya. That means that with which the nature of the self is very well known is called Sankhya. That which describes the self very well, that is Sankhya. The Sankhya is nothing but the Upanishad Tattva, Brahma Vidya. So then Sankhya means anything related to Sankhya, that is Sankhya. So what is contained in Sankhya, that is Sankhya. It contains knowledge of the self. So Sankhya Yoga means that science which unites us with our own self, that which talks about or shows us the supreme self, that is Sankhya Yoga. So this second chapter tells us about the supreme self, narrates the supreme self, which is Sankhya Yoga. It elaborately gives us the knowledge of the supreme self. This chapter tells about the man who realized this self, this supreme self, who is known to be Sthita Prajna. So here God describes about Sthita Prajna. First chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, where Arjuna is in deep dilemma. He is extremely disheartened and he doesn't want to fight anymore. So here Lord Krishna tells him the truth of life and why he should do his own duty, do his karma, that he explains. He starts this in the second chapter. So when Lord tells him to be Sthita Prajna and to fight, then Arjuna asks Lord, what are the lakshanas of a Sthita Prajna, a person who is established in his own knowledge? He asks, then Bhagavan answers in the 55th sloka. First sloka from which he starts narrating the lakshanas of his Sthita Prajna. And why should we know about it? The Sthita Prajna lakshana helps us to become a better personality, to make a better human being, to live a good life in this world. So hence we should all know about lakshanas of the Sthita Prajna. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sharvan Parthamanogatan Atmanyevatmana Tustaha Sthita Prajnastaduchyate. Lord Krishna says, O Partha, when one discards all his selfish desires and cravings of the senses that torment our mind, that trouble our mind, and then becomes satisfied in his own self-realization, such a person is said to be a Sthita Prajna. So any human being here, God doesn't say which caste, creed, any human being who fulfills the above criteria can be a Sthita Prajna. He gives the definition of Sthita Prajna in this first stanza. So he gives two aspects of this definition. First one, when we have abandoned all desires from our mind, when we have, then second one is, it is not only abandoning, because it is not possible for us to abandon. So we have to have higher desires. Okay, then only we can give up the lower ones. Means गोटे शाखा को छाड़ब केतेबेले जेतेबेले आउ गोटे शाखा आम हाथ को आसब, जेतेबेले आम आउ गोटे शाखा धरिबा तो लोअर शाखाटा को आम छाड़ू, ताहले जाइए गछ उपर आम चढ़ी पारू. सो दैट इज द मीनिंग. सो व्हेन वी get something higher for us to fill our mind, so then the lower desires will be automatically dropped. That is what God is telling. So when we are fulfilled in the self by ourselves, atmanyevatmana tushtaha, when we are santushta, satisfied by ourselves, for ourselves, we are in the self, and by our own self we are satisfied, then only we can leave all the desires that come or that attract us in our life. See, for example, in our childhood, we all had strong desire for toys. Colorful toys attracted us too much. But all our desires for all kinds of toys, was it satisfied? No. But still, now if you ask, there is no desire for toys. So this toy desire in the childhood, did we give up deliberately? No, not at all. So these desires for the toy are substituted by the higher desires as we grew up in our life. We are gifted, when we came to high school, our parents gifted us with a new bicycle. So when we got a new bicycle, so then we never looked at the toys. We got something higher, so automatically the desire for the toy was dropped. So our desire escalated as we grew actually in by age. So higher the desire, then lower desires automatically they are dropped actually, and they are gone. So mind expanded and picked up higher desires in the course of life. So those who love, lower desires are dropped and higher desires entered into our own self. So those we picked up this as we grew more and more, and our attraction for the objects, those are shifted. First there were toys, then books, then cycle. After that, when you grew, still girlfriend, then boyfriend, or then still more number of a good job and more money, and then our house filled up with many articles. So like that our desire keeps on shifting and shifting. So Krishna, now another example also I can say, a girl during her when she reads in the college or something, she is attracted towards her own beauty. She takes a lot of care how I would look beautiful. She gets married, gets a child. So when the child is in her arms, she forgets about her nail polish or whatever she uses and all, or taking care of her hair and all, because all her attraction and everything is centered on the child. She is so much attracted towards her child and the love for the child that does not make her very much attracted towards taking care of her own self. She is totally centered on the child. So she got something higher. Her desire is now higher, motherly love and emotion. So the lower desires automatically are dropped. So Lord Krishna says in the definition, when we pick up higher desire or goal in our life, then we leave the lower. So this is quite natural. So similarly, once when somebody, we all, as we grow, we get some intellectual goal or intellectual desire, then we give up all our emotional desire and all. So when our son or daughter, he wants to do doctorate in the foreign university, then the son or daughter, he leaves the family, father, mother, everybody, and he goes to the foreign university. There he wants to do a PhD. And when the title doctor comes, he's so excited. He remains far, far away. But these all attractions or desire are dropped automatically for a higher desire. So in this way, as we grow and we get something higher, automatically the lower desires have got no value for all of us actually. But then we need to get something higher. So unless the desire is fulfilled, then we get agitated. It is quite natural. So hence, so when there will be no desire, sure, there is no thinking also whether the desires are getting to be fulfilled, or agitation will not be there. So the less desire, slowly as we get and we realize and we understand, our mind is not anymore agitated. So if we lessen our desire, then we live a peaceful and happy life. So the Apta Kama takes place when the higher desire, when we develop the highest desire in our life. So in this way we move towards a higher goal in our life. We are all living in a dark cave. We are born there, grow there, and finally die also in that dark cave, that cave of desires, and we move inside. We never want or try to come out of that cave and look at the outside bright sky full of sunlight and how beautiful it is, and it fulfills all our desire and everything is dropped and we are ecstatic and joyful, our state becomes. And that is so much enlightening that we do not want again to go back to that cave of life and desire. So for that reason, once we have to try to come out of this cave where we are moving in a small circle, where only from birth to death we try to fulfill our desire, and more we fulfill, it expands and runs towards the objects, and we never get a lot of complete joy and happiness in our life. So that is what, when we come out of the cave, that is knowing our own self and establishing ourselves in that Parama goal or the own self, that is the supreme reality, if we come to understand. So no more desire to enjoy the world outside will take place when our mind has emptied itself of all the sensuous desires. So no suppression. We should not suppress our desire. Suppression means it is very dangerous. But Atmano Atmanaha Tushta. We can get satisfaction in the higher ideals. So no more temptation in our life. And we get a greater treasure of happiness. This is the first lakshana of a Sthita Prajna. So if a Sthita Prajna is getting a higher goal, that is, he knows the supreme reality, he is satisfied within himself. Many a persons we have met actually in across our life journey, those people, they remain, they have nothing much, but they are always happy and smiling. That happens because they have got that satisfaction in their own self, not in the objects. Their happiness does not lie on the objects. More money, more, if in the process of journey of life it comes, it is very good. But they have not concentrated only on the selfish desires. So we may not be a Sthita Prajna, but if we lessen our desires, keep on lessening, so our life will be a peaceful one and a joyful one. So let's try with this thought to lessen our desire and make our life a happy one. Hari Om, and thank you very much.